You know what? I think I gave my reaction a little too prematurely. So I had to go backtrack a little bit and think about it. Finn's character, actually, I absolutely enjoyed his character. Um, he was humorous. Same time, he showed emotion. He was great. Ray's character, I thought was great. Everyone actually did pretty well in the movie. Again, for those who was hoping that Han and Leia would have a huge role, again, this is, I think, episodes 7, 8, and 9 are going to gravitate away from 4, 5, and 6. This is no longer, in my opinion, Han, Leia, and Luke's story. I think Luke will have a large role in 8 and possibly 9. Um, I do think that it's kind of gravitating towards Ray and Finn. Um, Kylo Ren, menacing, yet he also showed emotion. You can see that he hasn't completely finished his training. No, Darth Vader, by the time Luke catches up with him, Darth Vader pretty much he's well trained. He knows Force. He's well trained. Okay, look at episodes 1, 2, and 3. Um, because if you recall, episode I think it was 5, when Obi-Wan tells Luke that he felt like he can train Darth Vader or Anakin Skywalker at the time better than, I forgot the guy that trained Obi-Wan, Qui-Gon Jinn. I can't remember. Well, he thought he can train him a lot better than his master trained, in which he found out he couldn't. So when Darth went to the dark side, see, to me, Rey kind of reminds me of Anakin in a way, in a positive way. What I mean by that is, if you've seen Force Awakens, when Kylo Ren is trying to force the map out of Rey's mind, trying to get information, it's like he awakened, that the force that was already within her. You know what I mean? And why I compare that with Anakin is because Anakin already had the ability in him, like all Jedi's do, except for a difference with Anakin and with Rey. Something awakened them into where they learned it faster than the average Jedi will learn. To me, I think anger is what awakened Anakin's power, the force within him. Rey, again, it was kind of anger and frustration from Kylo that, okay, another scenario, Harry Potter. Voldemort, pretty much, Harry had ability at birth, but Voldemort mistakenly put part of his own power within Harry. That was what made Harry so powerful as a wizard. Same thing with Rey. Rey already had that ability within her. She didn't know it. Kylo Ren mistakenly awakened that power. While I was watching it, now that I had to think about it for a second, it was kind of weird how Rey was able to learn the Force so quickly. How she was able to do things so quickly. Because Kylo awakened Force that was already within her. Not purposely, but he did it. Because Kylo hasn't really fulfilled his training. He didn't know that. Okay? Like, yeah, so my first video, I kind of said it was good. It could have been better. I still believe that. I still think it could have been better, but it was entertaining and it had a lot of great points. They live up to the hype. As far as being backed by Disney, yes, I do believe it lived up to the hype. Um, for the old school who were around the 70s when the first Star Wars came in the theaters, they might not look at it that way. They might say, well, no, it's kind of like the Michael Jordan, Curry Brown, LeBron James thing. It's LeBron is the new age guys. The new age, the younger people. LeBron is their Michael. Okay. Um, to those older school people like myself, I do classify myself. I'm 31, so I do classify myself as an older school person. LeBron will never be Michael, but it is what it is. Same with this. Star Wars Force Awakens, I think, is the new generation's episode 4. Okay. For those who grew up during holidays watching Star Wars trilogies 4, 5, and 6, there will be nothing that can compete with that. But because it's kind of gravitating towards the newer audience now, there's nothing that will probably compete with it. So they look at episode 4, 5, 6, it's boring or whatever. To me, I loved it, 4, 5, and 6. Hated 1, 2, and 3. They had some good points, but I hated 1, 2, and 3. Um, episode 7, great movie. I enjoyed it. It was entertaining. It was funny. It was emotional. It had some dark elements. It was great. Let me go back to the characters again. Kylo Ren. In the beginning, when he stopped that blaster midway, I was like, are you serious? That had never been done in the episodes 1 through 6. That hadn't been done. This is new. Where, of course, you see him, they kind of force the blaster away, but never stop it at midpoint. You didn't really see that. You saw the kind of the forced torture thing going on, but it wasn't as dramatic and dark as you saw in this one. Again, for those who are wanting to fan of Jedi, that's still up in the air because you still don't know his backstory. We know that he talks about at birth, or someone in the movie was saying at birth, he was pretty much put into the trooper program. So was he creating a lab like the clones were? We don't know. Because the clones, if you remember the Clone Wars, was it episode 2, I think? I can't remember. The Clone Wars, it's like they were made in the lab. We don't know about this one yet. So there's not really, we're still trying to figure out the story with Rey and with Finn. Okay, we kind of, for those who follow Star Wars folklore, we know about Kylo Ren. We know he's the son of Han and Leia. We know that. Um, Rey, I'm thinking maybe, because in the movie I was like, could she be Kylo Ren's sister? But because there was never any, no one Han sees her and Leia sees her, there's no kind of, this emotional attachment, but it's not as great as it was when they talk about Kylo or Ben. I think his name was Ben. I can't remember. Um, I'm thinking maybe she's Luke's daughter. That's what I'm thinking. Because it wasn't, the emotional attachment that Han and Leia had wasn't as powerful as with Kylo, but it was still there. As if they knew who she was. So I'm thinking that she's Luke's daughter. Some way, shape, or form, she's Luke's daughter. Um, yeah. So for those who are wondering, is Luke Skywalker in the movie? He is. Does he play a big role? You have to go and see it. Um, again, I do like the fact that Force Awakens kind of introduced something new, yet it kind of held true to episodes 4, 5, and 6. When it didn't do a backstory, but kind of threw in some elements of 4, 5, and 6 in there. for those who were already knowledgeable about Star Wars, and for those who are new, to it, it kind of gave them understand. Okay, this is what my parents were talking about. This is what my aunt and uncle was talking about. When it came to Star Wars. But I thought it was great. Anything else I'm missing? No, I think that's about it. Some more will come to me later, of course. But again, this is Caesar coming to you, and hope you enjoyed this video. Hit the like button, subscribe, share, whatever you do. Render unto Caesar. That is Caesar's. Holla.